Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsan ila yawmil qiyamah. Amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our coming to the masjid. Please remember to those who sponsored our dinner, and again, as we remind and invite and encourage everybody in the community every month. Anybody who is interested in sponsoring family, please reach out to the masjid, brother Ayub, brother Rashid. Inshallah, Sisters Committee, we can provide that opportunity. Inshallah, we try to keep it on the third Friday of the month. Sometimes if there's 5 weekends, then maybe the fourth one. Inshallah, depending on holiday and other things. But inshallah, we make it on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our coming to the masjid, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our Asr bil Jamaat and our time here, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all for you. Alhamdulillah, I am excited to invite apologize for that, no problem, inshallah. I'm very excited to invite for the first time, inshallah, hopefully not the last time, to our masjid, to our community, inshallah. Imam Zubair Altalib. He is an instructor for the Central Jersey Institute of Islamic Studies in Somerset, New Jersey, just around the corner from Rutgers. He runs with Alhamdulillah. He was born and raised in Canoga Park in California, and at the age of 14 during middle school, he started the full-time Hajj program at the Madrasa in Buffalo, Madaniya. And Alhamdulillah, after 7 years of study and graduation and qualification there, in all of the different subjects and sciences, Quran, Hadith, Tafsir, and Aqidah, he graduated Alhamdulillah last summer in the class of 2021. And moved to us in New Jersey. He's currently in Edison. He has previously been working as the resident imam at the Edison Muslim Community Center, not too far from exit 9 off the turnpike. And in addition to being an imam and also being a teacher in one of the local madrasas, as we had mentioned over there, he's also continuing further his studies, inshallah. We make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept his coming to our gathering, inshallah. Preserve him and his family with afiyah. Within a short period of time, we have, myself and Mona, have become very, very close friends. I hope that, inshallah, we all have an opportunity to take into consideration the message that he will share with us, inshallah. Just to give a little bit of context to the topic that, inshallah, we will be hearing about. As we know, within recent weeks, a lot of development has happened with Hajj. We are in the month of Dhul Qa'dah. Next month is the month of Dhul Hijjah. The season of Hajj starting from after the day of Eid al-Fitr and Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all those who made the intention for Hajj in 2020 as well as 2021, and also those in 2022. Not to talk or give so much any commentary about what's happening from the Hajj authorities, but a lot of people are still waiting to see if they will be going for Hajj this year. And so what I want to make sure is not lost is the Hajj is not something that is connected to the Saudi government. Hajj is connected to Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When we go there, we don't go there for things like the clock tower or the hotels. We go there because the Kaaba Sharifa is there. We go there because the Rawda Sharifa is there, because the dhikr of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam emanate from there. We go there to reorient and reconnect ourselves as the fifth pillar of our deeds. So whether we're going this year, whether we know someone who's going this year, inshallah, I want to make sure that the significance of this obligation in our deen, whether we have performed Hajj in the past, whether we have intention, or whether we don't have intention, it should not be lost on us. Right? It should not be lost on us. The Prophet ﷺ told us about the 5 pillars of this deen, starting with the Shahada, praying 5 times a day, Zakat, when we owe it, and if we owe it, fasting during the month of Ramadan, and Hajj. Right? Unfortunately, right, there are different trends and different segments of the Ummah, and different attitudes about Hajj, and different levels of importance given to Hajj. Inshallah, from now up until Maghrib, inshallah, I'm ready requesting Imam Zubair to please remind us, inshallah, share with us about the importance and significance, some of the fadail and virtues of Hajj, why we should never forget to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah tells us in the Quran, we have made the house al-bayt mathaba. Ustaz do the tarjuma for us. Bar bar Lord ki jagah. That place that you go back again and again and you never get bored of it, you never get tired of it. You make Allah retire initially thing. Allah increase our love for it, increase our respect for it, increase our opportunity to visit and benefit from those magnificent places. We make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also much love, so much inshallah. Without any further delay, inshallah, I request our respected guest, my dear friend, and Brother Imam Zubair, inshallah, to please share some words of advice, some pearls of wisdom, some reminders about people.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا وحبيبنا ونبينا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد قال الله تعالى الحج أشهر معلومات ومن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج وما تفعل من خير يعلمه الله وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب صدق الله العظيم. When I say the word Muslim, like the word Muslim, what is the first thought that comes to mind? What is the first thought that comes to mind? It's going to be a bit of an interactive session. What is the first thought that comes to mind when I say the word Muslim? Submission. Sorry? Submission. Submission to Allah. Any other thought that comes to mind? Sorry? Peace. Nothing? Certainly. So we have submission from Allah and we have peace. Right? If I ask one of the kids, yes, you right here. No. Sorry? Your identity. MashaAllah. Good answer. Right? That's a good answer. And yes, that is the answer I was looking for. It's an identity. When someone says the word Muslim, the first thought that should come to mind is that this person believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the one and only God, and he believes that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his last and final messenger. Right? The second thought that should come to mind, this person prays 5 times a day. Right? I might not know the timing, but I know for a fact that he prays 5 times a day. Number 3, I know for a fact that this person gives charity. He pays zakat. Number 4, I know for a fact that this one person, this one brother, this one sister fasts during the month of Ramadan, or whatever month it might be. And the last and final thought that should come to mind is something that has disappeared. Because they don't know the 5 pillars of Islam. We know the 5 pillars of Islam. We know the 5 pillars of Islam, right? Maybe zakat might not be well known, but all across top ends of social media, on the news, whenever the month of Ramadan comes in, everyone knows that Muslims are fasting in Islam. That they don't eat, they don't drink from the break of dawn all the way till dusk. Everyone knows that we pray 5 times a day. We have these masajid. All over the world. And every single day, for 5 times a day, the adhan is called. And as soon as the adhan is called, people come to the masjid, they pray, literally 5-10 minutes, and then they leave. So yes, that is the correct answer I was looking for. I was trying to look for that being a Muslim is an identity. Right? Being a Muslim is an identity. There's a hadith in the book of Muslim that the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they were all gathered around Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were all gathered around Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they would sit out of respect and they would look down. Now, remember that this right here, this place that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is sitting, and where the Sahaba radiallahu anhum are sitting, it's not a luxurious area. Everyone had dust, their clothes were dirty, everyone was sweating. At that moment, one person walked in who had the blackest of beards, whitest of clothes, and everyone was looking at this person walking in. He went and he sat next to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rather, he put his hands on his lap. And he put his knees towards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's knees. He then asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "What is Islam? What is Islam?" Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to say the kalima la ilaha illallah, to pray 5 times a day, to give zakat, to fast during the month of Ramadan, and to perform Hajj if you have the capability and the ability to perform Hajj, financially, health-wise, so on and so forth. This person that came, this random person, right? No one knew who this person was, right? Imagine if a random stranger just walks and everyone will look at him. You're not from the area. You're not from the area. And this person who asked the question to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you have said the truth. You have said the truth. Can you imagine what's going on in the minds of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum? Right? These companions, these beloved companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were so shocked to hear a person ask a question. And then at the same time, this person who's asking the question is saying that you're right, you're saying the truth. So then he asked another question. He asked, what is Iman? And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that Iman is bringing Iman on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His angels, the books, the prophets, on the day of judgment, and taqdeer and fate, whether good or bad. And again, this person answered, you have said the truth. You have said the truth. What is ihsan? What is ihsan? And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as if you are seeing Him. And if you are not able to see Him, then know for surely that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is seeing you. Again, the same reply. You have said the truth. And then this person asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what is, or when is the day of judgment? When is Yawm al-Qiyamah? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that he does not know when Yawm al-Qiyamah is. And then he asked, what are some of the signs of the day of judgment? And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam answered that the slave will give birth to her master. Right? There's an interpretation for this saying that children will be disrespectful towards their parents, which is a very common you could say, issue in the United States or all around the world, where children have lost all that respect for their parents and are now secluding themselves from them. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he also mentioned that the barefoot Arabs who are goat shepherds will compete in tall buildings. What is the tallest building right now in the world? The Burj Khalifa. Which country is competing with the UAE to make a taller skyscraper? The Saudis. What is the tower called? The Burj Khalifa. No, that's someone in the UAE. The Jeddah Tower. The Jeddah Tower. Now, remember, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was there 1400 years ago. He's not here today, but yet he is predicting and he's prophesying the future. After this person talked to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam questions. He left. A few days went by, and no one really questioned who this person was to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No one questioned. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam then came to Umar radiallahu anhu, because the narrator of the hadith is Umar radiallahu anhu, and he mentions that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to me and he asked me, "Did you know who that man was?" And Umar radiallahu anhu did not reply in the affirmative. Rather, he said no. He said, "No, I do not know who that person is." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions that that person was Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam, and he has come to teach you your deen. Now let's take a few steps back, right? We are now finding out that this person was Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam, right? And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is telling Umar radiallahu anhu that he has come to you to teach you your deen, your religion. Now let's go back to the first point. Let's take a few steps back. What were the 5 pillars that Jibreel alayhi mentioned? Number 1 was shahada, was the kalima. Number 2 was salah. Number 3 was zakat. Number 4 was Sawm, and the last and final pillar was Hajj. Meaning, Hajj is as important as any of our salahs. It has the same amount of importance like our Sawm, our fasting during the month of Ramadan. It has the same importance as our zakat. Now, when we look at Hajj as an obligatory action as itself, right? We have this thought that, you know what, financially I'm not well right now, right? Or we have the wealth, and we said that inshallah maybe not this year but next year, or not next year but the year after, and so on and so forth, and we keep delaying this process, right? Or we might jump the gun and say immediately that, you know what, I have the money for Hajj, let me go perform my Hajj. Let me go perform my Hajj. Now, the significance of Hajj, or rather, because Hajj, the main purpose of going for Hajj is, one of the main purposes is to do tawaf around the Kaaba, right? To do 7 rounds around the Kaaba. That's an act of worship. You have to have wudu at the time to perform tawaf, right? To go 7 rounds around the Kaaba, right? If I were to tell you that the prophets before, even Ibrahim alayhi were commanded to perform tawaf, how would you feel? Because as soon as Adam alayhi salam, he came into this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to do tawaf in that place. Right? Just like how tawaf is done around the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To do tawaf in that specific place. Right? And that place, that holy place where the Kaaba is placed right now, remember, before this world was created, everything was water. Everything was water. And there was a small bubble that formed over that water where the Kaaba is right now. And some of the scholars, they say that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to create the world, He started off from that place, and everything spread around Him. Previous prophets, we're talking about from Adam alayhi salam's time, right? They all performed tawaf in the area, in that same spot. Why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded them to perform tawaf in that area. Right? Now, my main purpose and my main focus is for us to achieve our goal into going for Hajj, or making intention for Hajj, right? One time there was this well-learned Jewish person that came to Umar radiallahu anhu, right? And this Jewish person, he told Umar radiallahu anhu that, the day that so ayah was revealed, which is al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum, right? Today I have completed your deen, wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati, and I have completed my ni'mah upon you, wa raditu lakum al-islam dinan, and I am happy as Islam as your religion. He said that if we were to have that verse, we would make that day into a celebration. We would make that day into a celebration. Umar radiallahu anhu, he remembered that time. And he told this person, like, I know the exact time, the exact date that it was revealed. And that day is 2 days of celebration. Number one, it was the day of Jumu'ah. And the second was the day of Arafah. Meaning that the day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that our deen was complete. That our deen is complete was the day of Arafah and Yawm al-Jum'ah. If you look at Hajj this year, the year of 2022, there is a highly likely chance that the day of Arafah, the 9th of the Hijjah, will come on a Friday, and then the Eid will be on a Saturday, or the 10th will be on a Saturday. After this ayah was revealed, all of the ayat, or all of the wahi, all the revelation that came to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was not regarding halal and haram. Meaning, the deen was complete. Everything that we need for the deen was completed at that time. What would you do to be in that position, to be on Mount Arafah on the 9th day of the Hijjah, right, on the day of Jumu'ah, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Ya Allah forgive me, Ya Allah forgive me, and constantly make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are all some of the virtues, or rather some of the, how would I put this? Some of the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put forward for us. That you come to this place at this time, you ask and I will forgive you. And the more virtue it has, for example, if it's the 9th and it's Jumu'ah, imagine how close Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be at that time to you, and His blessings will be close to you. There's a hadith by Aisha radiallahu anha, in which she has mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not set slaves free from the fire of hell more than the 9th of the Hijjah, Yawm al-Arafah. And He comes closer and says with pride to the angels that these are my servants. what is the desire of my servants and my slaves? Now being there, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for your needs, and completing your needs. This is all motivation. Right? This is all motivation. The same way we have motivation at work. Right? The same way we have motivation at work. If I do this task, then it will be easier to complete this task. Or if we're in school, if I finish my homework on time, then we'll move forward. Or we can play video games, whatever it is. Right? It's motivation. There's a hadith narrated by Hurairah that if a person spends in good during the days of Hajj, while he's performing Hajj, he will be given the reward of 700 times whatever he spent. Right? 700 times. Can anyone tell me the average Hajj rate that's going on right now? The average Hajj rate. Let's say the most basic.
What? Hajj?
Yeah, to perform Hajj.
The average?
Like the most basic plan to perform Hajj.
5,000?
More than that.
Well, 10 now should be roughly.
Yeah, around $10,000. Between, so I checked, it was like around $9,500 just to perform Hajj, right? For the most basic plan. And if you go higher to the more elite plans, it's about $13,500. Multiply that by 700. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just basically giving us, obviously Hajj is something that cannot be done overnight. Right? It takes effort. Right? We need to make sure that we have money in our bank account so our families can eat. We need to make sure that we have money in our bank account so the bills can be paid at the house, to make sure that there's food on the table for our children. Right? And if there's any necessity that needs to be done, there's money for that as well. And if there's anything left over, there's something extra, that's when we can go to Hajj. So make the intention, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Remember, the dua wa mukhul al-ibadah. That dua is the mirror of ibadah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was known as Jawami al-Kalim, meaning that he would say small phrases, yet it would have so much meaning. Now let's look at this hadith. Dua wa mukhul al-ibadah. That dua is the marrow of ibadah, meaning that making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most essential part of ibadah. You look at a bone is completely useless without marrow. Right? The same way, all of our ibadah would be useless if we don't ask anything from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? We pray salah, and we just leave. We never ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is waiting for us to ask, and He will give. He's just waiting for us. So now, when you think about the very, very amazing virtues of Hajj, going for Hajj, performing Hajj, going to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, going for a pilgrimage, you think that it should all be virtues. But at the same time, there are warnings for those people by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that if you do not go for Hajj and it has become obligatory upon you, meaning that you have health, you have wealth, you have all the necessities of life, there are warnings by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a hadith of Qudsi, meaning that there is a hadith in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that a servant of mine who has wealth and good health, and he has decided not to visit me or my house in 5 years, has been deprived of great goodness and blessings. What is stopping us? Okay, if there are necessities and there are errands that need to be done in the house, it's totally understandable. It is 100% understandable. But if we keep on delaying the Hajj for absolutely no reason, how would we be if we were deprived of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings? How would we be to be deprived of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy? That is the question. We're working 5 days a week, we have the weekends off, but just in those 5 days, imagine making so much money, but not spending it on good. Forget spending it on good, spend it on something that's obligatory for Muslims. Right? Something that's obligatory, something that has the same status as salah, something that has the same status as sawm, something that has the same status as zakat. Why would we want to deprive ourselves of mercy? And to just describe what is the reward for Hajj? What is the reward for Hajj? If you look at different ibadah, for example, let's say that, would be a good example. So there's a salah that you pray, Ishraq, right? A salah of Ishraq, right? And if you were to pray that salah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you the reward of one mabrur Hajj, meaning that Hajj isn't that the reward that you're getting for that specific salah is an accepted Hajj. Mabrur basically means accepted. And all you're doing is just praying those 4 rak'ahs in the morning, right after the sunrise. Imagine the status of that ibadah. Imagine the status of that ibadah. For example, like I said, like I mentioned, you're praying your salah and you're getting a reward of a mabrur Hajj, of an accepted Hajj by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no, how are you able to compare one ibadah to another? That just shows you the amount of mercy, the amount of blessings, the amount of reward in just that one ibadah, which is Hajj, which is obligatory. Right? And let's forget about the obligatory part of the Hajj, right? We have to go for Hajj, so on and so forth. But there are many virtues. For example, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, visiting Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions that whoever visits my grave, whoever visits me, my intercession will be lazim upon him. My intercession will be necessary upon him. So you're going for your obligatory duty, but at the same time, if you make a pit stop in Medina Munawwara and you visit Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, imagine the reward. The reward is that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will personally intercede for you. That Ya Allah, He visited me, let Him go to Jannah. So after hearing all of these different virtues, now what? Right? As Mufti mentioned, that some people only dream about going for Hajj. Right? Tickets are out, the packages are sold out. So now, for those of us that haven't been for Hajj or Umrah, make the intention. All it takes is the intention. Make the intention that you will go for Hajj. Maybe not this year, but next year. Right? And make constant dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make constant dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Ya Allah, give me the ability, give me the health, give me the wealth to go for Hajj. And the last and important aspect is to help those people that are going for Hajj. Right? Can anyone tell me what was the name or the title given to Uthman radiallahu anhu? Uthman radiallahu anhu was known as Al-Ghani, meaning that he was the wealthy. Why? Because in one of the battles, he helped support and he provided, camels, horses, and armory and weapons for 1/3 of the army. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him the title of Ghani, the wealthy. Right? So help those who are going for Hajj. Whether that be in packing, right? If they're leaving any relatives behind, help them in preparing some food and taking it to their houses. One brother takes one day, the next brother takes another day. If they need food at that house, right? If you have been to Hajj before, tell them about your experience. Tell them the do's and the don'ts, making sure that they perform their Hajj easily and properly. Now, what about those people that are going for Hajj, inshallah? Remember that our main purpose of visiting Makkah Mukarramah is to visit the holy site. We should not indulge ourselves in something that can be done later on. For example, shopping. Right? Anyone that goes to Saudi or goes to Makkah Mukarramah, they all want to buy the best of the best swats, the best of the best Qur'an, the best of the best clothing. All of that can be done at a later time. Going through our phone and checking through every single app. Oh wow, good feature. Look at this feature. I never knew I could do this. That should all be left to deal with on the flight back home while doing istighfar for anything that was on our shortcomings. Right? Any shortcoming that came from us, just do istighfar on the way back and just go through your phone at that time. 8 hours, 9 hours, 12 hours, however long it takes you to come back. The second goal should be to visit all of the holy sites, meaning, not the holy sites, the historical sites of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? You're in Saudi Arabia, and let's be honest, our visiting of Saudi Arabia is not that common. Right? We probably only visit for Umrah if we have the ability to go for Umrah, or we'll go for Hajj, and that's the only time we'll actually be in Saudi Arabia, and then we would never go. So visit some of the historical sites. The Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum, after the passing of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, would go into different places, right? Sit down for 2 minutes, and then start going in their continuing their travel. Why? Because then people ask the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala anhum, that why did you sit down at this time? Right? What was the purpose of only sitting down for 2 minutes? And the Sahaba mentioned that, we saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sitting in this specific spot for 2 minutes, so we sat down and we started to continue our travel. So go visit places like Badr. Right? Go visit the mountain of Uhud to see where the infamous battle took place. Right? Learn about the history of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam while you are in Medina Munawwara. Right? While you're in Medina Munawwara. And the last goal or objective for the person that is going for Hajj is to keep me, my family, all of the blessed congregants of the masjid in your thoughts. Remember these people. These are the people that will help you in life. These are the people, not me or my family, but rather the congregants of the masjid. The congregants of the masjid. These are the people that you will remember in life, that will cherish you, that will help you in anything without hesitation. With that being said, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the faith to act on what has been said, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all to those who ladies. Ameen. Subhanallah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka.
Jazakumullah khair. Takbir. Alhamdulillah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept. If anybody has any questions or like to ask anything in particular, please feel free at that time. Inshallah, we can make preparation for our salah or things to do. Inshallah, we will pray Maghrib in about 15 minutes, and then after that, inshallah, we will finish our program. But if anybody has any questions, inshallah, please feel free to ask any questions, inshallah. If I may ask a question, first and foremost, we know that it is a once-in-a-lifetime journey. Do you have any advice for a person who goes for Hajj after coming back from Hajj? We don't know if we will be able to go again, inshallah. That intention is always there, but the goal is to have our Hajj accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, we prepare, we do our best, but is there a way for us to kind of get some comfort? What are the signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted our Hajj? What are the signs of it accepted Hajj? Inshallah, if I can ask you to shed some light on this, inshallah.
Well, first and foremost, as we know, we are humans and we make mistakes. Right? If you look at the word insan, right? Insan, and you try to look in a dictionary to find the translation of insan, you're not going to find it underneath alif, nun, sin, alif, nun. But rather, you will find it underneath nasiya, which means to forget. So yes, we are humans and we will make mistakes. That is the whole point of us being humans. Right? Because we make mistakes and we learn from our mistakes. Now, in regards to your question on how would we know that our Hajj will be accepted, or how our Hajj is accepted. Well, the first thing I would mention, or the first thing I would question you, is that did you try? Did you try to do all of your actions correctly? And if you say yes, and you still feel this discomfort after following all the rules, okay, there was we broke a rule and we had to pay a specific penalty. Right? We had to pay a specific penalty. Right? Did we pay that penalty off? And at the end of the day, we just have to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, forgive our shortcomings. Ya Allah, accept our Hajj. And if this discomfort is still there, right? Inshallah, if you feel like it is necessary to correct it, then try to correct it. Go ahead. The main purpose is to try. Right? Trying is the main objective of Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at the intention in the that all actions are based on intentions. Right? If you intended to purposefully go in the wrong way during Hajj, and then you're not regretting it, then ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness and try to go again. But if you know for a fact that you tried your best to perform your Hajj, right? You did everything according to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You followed the Imam, whatever the Imam told you, you did. Then inshallah, with the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah your Hajj will be accepted. But constantly make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ya Allah, forgive my shortcomings. Ya Allah, forgive my actions. And just constantly remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Feel that regret in your heart. They didn't perform their best. And inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. Accept that as a completed Hajj, as a successful, accepted Hajj.
If anybody has any questions, inshallah, please.
Mashallah, very good preparation. Just a question. One of the biggest reward that we've been told that all your sins are forgiven after you complete your Hajj. Many people they have a tendency to delay Hajj, contrary to what you just said, that as soon as you meet these requirements, financial and health and all those commitments, it is foremost obligatory to should do it as soon as possible. Many people delay it because they think that sins will be forgiven and they wait till older age. So how do we explain to them that they should do it sooner than rather than later?
Well, first and foremost, you ask this person, can you give me a guarantee that you will never commit this sin again? Can you give me a guarantee that you will never commit a sin again? And you ask them, right? These are just examples, right, that I'm giving you. It's not one full answer. But to not remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala constantly is a minor sin. How many times do we forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a day? We're completing so many different tasks, right? For example, we're driving our kids to school, right? We're picking our kids up from school, we're dropping off this person, we're picking up groceries, so on and so forth. How many times do we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do we forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Well, that would be my first answer. So telling them that, there's no point of delaying it because we already know that we are not the prophets. We are not sinless, we are not forgiven. Right? We will commit sins. Right? And then you can slowly bring in like, okay, wait, you do this is wrong, this is forbidden in Islam. And the whole purpose of it is to convince that other person that it's impossible to escape from sin. Right? We go into the grocery store to buy a gallon of milk, to buy some eggs for the family, to buy bread, and all we hear is music. Now imagine listening to that music. Right? Hating it is one question, but how about if you like it? Going to the back of the supermarket, bobbing your head up and down, enjoying and receiving pleasure through the music, and then walking to the back, picking up milk, on the way back, bobbing your head, right? That's just a 10-minute trip. We have our entire lives to decide whether or not, to go for Hajj, right? I completely agree. Again, we have to be financially well off. But then who can give you a guarantee that you will be alive? Right? All souls shall taste death. Not to get political or anything like that, but do you think those elementary school students in Texas thought that they were going to school just to move on to the next step? That is not certain. Those people on Lion Air with a failed 737, they crash landed because of an error. They were going to their final destination. And that wasn't the place that they were landing, rather it was in Africa. Right? I'm here this week. Who says I'm here the next week? That's another way of answering it. Any other questions? Ready?
Inshallah, we have just a couple minutes left before inshallah, I want to again request everybody in the community, inshallah, please remember Imam Zubair Altalib, inshallah, thank you so much for visiting us this evening. We hope to, inshallah, have you with us, inshallah, come again in the future. We make dua with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bless you, every word you accept. All of us coming this evening. Again, a reminder, inshallah, whoever is interested in sponsoring family night, inshallah, please reach out to the masjid, Brother Ayub, Brother inshallah, this committee, we can, inshallah, give you that opportunity. Inshallah, the next time family night will be, because we have 5 weekends, will be the 4th Friday of July. And give everybody an extra week because of Hajj. So July 22nd, inshallah, will be family night next month, inshallah. We make dua from all of us. Before we leave today, inshallah, I'm not sure if we have extra food. Do we have any extra food? Do we have any extra food? If anybody did not get anything, inshallah, please stop by. If you did not get anything, please stop by. Please take some food with you, inshallah. Our program was recorded. You'll be able to visit, watch it, and share it, inshallah, on the Masjid YouTube channel and on the Masjid Facebook page. Again, please visit the Masjid website for updates. We will be making the announcement for the Hijjah and for Hajj and for Eid al-Adha, inshallah, so as we get the dates confirmed, inshallah. So please stay tuned for that, as well as when we will be praying, where we will be praying Eid al-Adha, Salah, we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, accepted from all of us, inshallah. So we'll be praying Maghrib now, we'll make preparations in the Masjid for Salah, and then after that, inshallah, we'll continue our program.